Welcome to Gürkan Çakır's YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about registered capital system in joint stock companies in Turkey. The registered capital system is applicable for non-public joint stock companies. The term capital has two different meanings: principal capital in the principal capital system and issued capital in the registered capital system. In the principal capital system, a specific amount mentioned in the Articles of Association is registered to the trade registry. The change of capital requires the amendment to be made in AOA and also requires the ministry's permission in certain cases. On the other hand, in the registered capital system, it is possible to increase the capital simply by decision of the board of directors within the limits specified in the AOA. The registered capital system is an alternative that has been introduced in order to overcome certain practical problems encountered in the principal capital system. The flexible structure of the registered capital system is ensured by the transfer of power from the General Assembly to the board of directors to increase the capital. Joint stock companies can choose the registered capital system at the time of their incorporation or post-incorporation stage by way of an amendment made in the AOA. Joint stock companies that are opting for the registered capital system at the time of incorporation must pay the initial capital in full, which must be at least 100,000 Turkish liras. Likewise, companies wishing to switch to the registered capital system at post-incorporation stage must fully pay the issued capital, which must be at least 100,000 Turkish liras. Following matters must be specified in AOA of non-public joint stock companies which will adopt the registered capital system. First one is the initial capital. Second one is the duration of the power granted to the board of directors, which will be maximum of 5 years, to increase the capital up to the limit of registered capital. Third one is start and end dates of the duration of power. Fourth one is upper limit of the registered capital. And lastly, the fifth one is conditions of the announcement of the board resolution regarding the capital increase. A non-public joint stock company that has a registered capital system or those who have switched to this system after incorporation must make an application to the Ministry of Trade for a permission. Once the permission is granted, the General Assembly is called for a meeting. Thereafter, General Assembly amends the AOA regarding the company's transition. The amendments approved by the General Assembly are registered and announced in the Trade Registry Gazette. Public joint stock companies, including unlisted companies and stock-listed companies, are able to adopt the registered capital system. Public joint stock companies that will switch to the registered capital system must adopt a provision regarding the capital increase in their AOA. A draft amendment which indicates the new registered capital and a resolution on the transition to the registered capital system must be made by the board. The amendment is subject to the permission of the Capital Markets Board. Capital Markets Board has a wide discretion while examining the application. If Capital Markets Board deems the permission appropriate after its examination, it approves the application for the transition to the registered capital system and determines the upper limit of registered capital. After the permission is granted by the Capital Markets Board, a permission from the Ministry of Trade to amend the AOA is required. The Ministry conducts its examination as to whether there is the violation of the law's mandatory provisions. After obtaining the permission from the Ministry, the General Assembly meeting is called and the amendments are made to the AOA. After the approval of the General Assembly, amendments of the AOA is registered and announced in the Trade Registry Gazette.